There are days when you just want to take whatever you're working on and throw it absolutely as far as you can, and well, these are one of these days. As you will find out, I'm not in a really good mood because I had a mini disc destroyed by a mini disc player. Got a little mini disc unit in today to service. I like this for AC 120 volt use only, but I love this. This is a Sony adapter that was included with it. It says Class 2 power supply for use with Sony audio video products without high voltage parts and antenna connections. So that's the adapter. It's a special small plug. It's yellow, which is something that Sony used to always do, but it should work with this one because this also has a small DC input and it's the correct polarity. This little mini disc recorder apparently does not, or doesn't close properly. So I have a disc here to test this with, and we'll see whether it's what I can do to get this one to run. Well, it looks like it's working. It definitely looks like it's working. Maybe not. I don't have any speakers or anything connected to this. Let me just plug in a line output so we can hear what's on the disc, if it will actually play. Well, it looks like it's not reading. It says it's reading the table of contents, but it's not playing anything. The fellow that shipped it in thought it had something to do with the latch not closing properly, but it obviously looks like it's more than that. Oh, okay, maybe it is. Maybe it is the latch, because if I hold it down on one side, it will play. This is Music Bakery content, so I can play this. But if I let go of the side, it stops playing. So it doesn't look like it's closing all the way, although it might be the there's a little switch over here on the corner that gets activated, I think. Yeah, there's a little micro switch that gets activated when the disc is in place, and it looks like the latch is not latching it properly, so it's sticking up on one corner, and that's what the problem is. It's not closing correctly, therefore it's not holding that switch closed and activating it. I think I'm going to have to go in from the bottom on this one. And I've never opened up one of these JVCs before. In fact, for that matter, I even avoided the small Sony mini disc. When I was in the business, we never worked on these small units. I used to send them off right to Sony. You know, if Sony's going to build shit this small, let them deal with it. Because usually they were broken because some bonehead had dropped them. That was usually why they were coming in for service, is because somebody had dropped them. This one here looks like it's been dropped too. If you look at the dent in the back cabinet here, that's usually what happened, is they got dropped and things got bent or broken. I'm pretty sure this is the switch right here that gets activated when the door is closed, not the ones on the left side. I was thinking it was these switches over here, but I think those are just the disk detection switches on the back of the disc here to detect whether it's an 80-minute or a 74-minute or a 60-minute disc. There's detection holes and the record lockout. I believe that's what these two are for back here. And the actual door latch is this switch at the front right there. So if the little lever here, that when the door is closed, it activates this switch. As you can see, if I can get the door to close. When the door is closed, that switch gets activated. So when I push the door down further, you'll see that switch moves in a little more. So I think probably it just this little lever needs to be bent just a little bit more towards the actual switch itself, so that when the door is closed, without having to hold it all the way down, it will indicate that it is closed. Like that. Okay, and now it's open. So let's just try putting the back on the unit now and see whether that will solve the problem. I'll start out with these switches in the down position, just because gravity is going to pull the switch covers down. Set that on like that. These switches should activate, which they do. Put those screws in the bottom, and fingers crossed that's going to make this unit work. But the only thing I can think of on this is that's why it wasn't reading the disc, is that switch wasn't being held in the closed position. I now know what the old guy that I work with, he used to complain constantly, because he would have been trying to remember how old my assistant was. He was older than me. I don't even know if he's alive anymore, but because it's been 20 years since we've been out of there. If he's still around, he's way up there. But he was in his 60s, because he was a retiree that worked with us. He retired at 55 from another job, and then came to work at the shop and worked in there for about 10 years. And anyway, he used to always complain because I gave him all this small crap to work on and he couldn't see it. And he's in the situation that I'm in now, using magnifiers like this to see the small parts. It's not that I didn't have small stuff to work on. I had the camcorders and stuff to work on. Right? I had all the camcorders and all that stuff to work on. But I gave him the small stuff because I just didn't want to work on this crap. It was just not to the point that it was so small. It's just that we couldn't charge enough to repair it. So I used to give it to Marv to work on. And he used to despise working on this crap. Okay, is it going to read? Looks like it's going to read. So even though it's not closing all the way down one corner, it doesn't really need to. It was just the position of that little lever that locks this together. Right now it closes and it activates the switch, so it'll work. So another one saved from the scrap heap. Actually, this is a nice little player. A little player like this is something that I would use if I had something small like this, because, well, the portable mini disc that I had was a little bit bigger than that. So this is my mini disc Walkman by comparison. It's like like double the size, double the width. Now, Sony made very small ones like this later on. This is the first generation. In fact, this is the mini disc that started everything, the MZ1. It doesn't get older than this. This is first generation Sony mini disc. The first one that was sold. This one's quite the collector's item too, that I have. It's even got Japanese writing on it. Use the BP MZ1 battery pack. I also have an MZ2 kicking around somewhere as well, but it has issues. I believe I can record on this unit too. There's a few seconds, 36 seconds remaining on the disc that I can record. So I've got it plugged into my mini disc or my MP3 player now. Let's check our levels. Looks like the levels are okay. Let's hit record. I don't even know how to do this. I think if I push the pause button here, it'll probably record. There we go. So I'm recording track 16. We can't hear it because I don't have the output plugged in. It'll just kind of record a portion of a track for 25 seconds. It says mono record. Why does it say that? Because the switch on the bottom is set to mono. Mono record table of contents. Don't know why it says that, but anyway. Making sure it records. And now it'll stop because the disk is full. So now I can just plug this back into my amplifier and go back to the line out, and we should be able to play that track that I just recorded, which was like track 16, I think. Anyway, this should be it here. Oh, for Christ's sake, this thing just wiped my entire disc. Well, I gotta haul out my mini disc recorder now and re-record my disc. Unfortunately, it's broken too. This is a Sony MDS 302. Won't eject the disc. So likely we have a belt that's bad on this one. Belt is right here. I believe this is the one that's gone sloppy, and it is. Yeah, this is the belt here that's gone sloppy on this one. The only reason why this one was even brought out was because that piece of crap JVC, this piece of junk that I was working on, that I was told all that was wrong with it was the lid wasn't closing right, which I fixed. Well, I guess the magnetic head that does the recording isn't working properly, and when I went to try to record a clip and I went to overwrite the table of contents, it scrubbed the table of contents and wiped my one and only test disc that's got royalty-free content on it. So now I got to re-record my disc. Wonderful. So I drag out my mini disc that hasn't been used since I recorded the disc before, and only to find out that the belt is shot. So we're changing the belt so that I can get this one recording again, just so I can re-record my test disc. Now, if you're wondering, is that JVC recorder that just trashed my perfectly good disc, is it going to get repaired? Probably not, because the fellow that sent it in was expecting it just to be something simple, and he probably will walk away from it. Not that I don't know that it could be repaired, because you can't get parts for any of these things anymore, right? And I haven't inspected it, but if the magnetic head, which is on the top side, that makes the recording, if that's damaged in any way or broken or if it's missing, I didn't look, you wouldn't get the parts for it anyway. It's just too old. Okay, that should fix this. So this will eject my disc. Then I can proceed to re-record my Music Bakery demo disc that I didn't think I was going to have to waste an hour of my day fixing my disc. Hadn't planned on that today. So on my buff to a high luster, yeah, I'm a little bit choked that the machine decided it was going to, or that other machine decided it was going to erase my disc. But that's why I have this one disc, just for testing. I have a couple hundred mini discs that I recorded over the years, mixed stuff I recorded off the radio, all kinds of stuff that I would never dare put in someone's machine that I don't know the condition of it, because just like that, it can be erased. Just like that, you lose everything. So how these machines work, if I hit the record button, it's going to put it into record pause mode. Then I can set my levels. I'm just recording with the analog inputs. And then I can just pick the tracks that I want to record. I don't know what I want, so I'm just going to start. See what I want. Yeah, I can start with that one, I guess. So when I'm ready to record, I just hit the pause button, and it records. Now, how these things work, might as well talk while we're recording this. How these units work, if we watch, you'll see the disc spinning, and you'll see the recording head on the top. When it goes into record mode, that head drops down onto the top surface of the disc. The laser, all it is doing is it is just heating the disc, and it's heating the disc to an internal temperature of, I think it's around 400 degrees Celsius. It's hot. It's the current temperature for the magnetic field. I don't know if we'll see, if I kill the lights in here and turn on the night shot on the camera, we might actually see the infrared radiation leaking around the recording head here. Let's just try that and see if we can see anything. And kill some lights. So what you can see in here, if I block out the infrared sensor on here, you'll probably even see it more. You see the laser popping on and off? So what it's doing, you can see it. If you look over here, you see the light flashing on and off? You'll see it underneath here. So the laser is actually not recording full time. What it's doing is it's erasing each track, one track at a time, by heating it up. And it heats the metal to the point where it loses its magnetic recording ability. When you heat a metal alloy that can hold a magnetic charge, and DVD-RW works similar, but different. DVD-RW also heats the crystalline structure to change the physical attributes of the crystalline structure. So it does it kind of the same. It does it in two steps. It heats it or to erase it, and then it goes back and it pulses to modulate and record data onto the disc. And how it works on DVD-RW is when the laser pulses, it's going to change the way that the laser is reflected back, so it changes the angle. Minidisc works similar. This is magneto-optical though. Magneto-optical gives you the ability to randomly record and delete and move tracks around and so forth, move data around. So the head that you see on top here, that's a magnetic head, just like you'd find in a hard drive, or a tape recorder for that matter. And how it works is that laser is coming on and it's heating the magnetic layer to erase it. And then once it does that, the magnetic head either encodes a north or a south pole to the magnetic layer. And as it cools, it locks that in. So it's buffering the data and it's recording it and then stops. Records, stops, records, stops. So that you see the laser kicking on and off there. It's an infrared laser, that's why I had to put the camera in night shot. And if I block out the infrared emitter from the camera, that shows probably a little clearer, because now the light you see it's still running all the time. It's just pulsing into the higher power mode. So it's reading out, writing, reading, writing, reading. So once it writes the data, it then reads it back, confirm that the data was stored without errors, and then it moves to the next packet. That's how a mini disk works. Now, if I stop it at the end of this track, hit stop, you'll see it moves the head away from the recording surface. And now if I go into playback to play that track back, you don't see the higher power laser. You probably won't see it at all now because this metal plate is blocking it, because it's lifted the magnetic head away. But the laser is still running now. It's just at a lower power level, just for reading it back like it would a regular disc for playback. If I want to go into record for the next track, I'm going to turn the lights on so I can see what buttons to push. If I hit the stop button and stop it, now if I hit the record button again, watch what happens. You see? It's getting queued up for the next track. The laser is not pulsing, it's in the read mode now. When I release the pause, we'll get the next track queued here. What I want to record next. Yeah, I'll do this one. So when I'm ready to record, I have gotta find my pause button. I can't see it. It's in the dark here. So when I go to record, if I hit my source, I'll start the source up and I'll hit the record. Now I messed up because my MP3 player is not working. So, okay, that's good. Let's erase track number 2. So let me just stop it again. I'm going to erase track 2 so you guys can watch what happens. See, I got to turn some lights on so I can see what buttons I'm pushing here. So I'm going to erase track number 2. So go to edit. No, I don't want to all erase. I just want to erase track 2. So I select erase track 2. And I'm going to hit next. I hit OK. Erase. Yes. Complete. Now, what will happen is nothing's going to happen until I eject the disk. When I hit eject, it'll write the table of contents. Watch. Eject. It's now going to write the table of contents, which it's doing now, and now it's going to eject my disk. And the disk is now removed. Put the disk back in. It's going to read the table of contents. I'm going to put this back into the record mode. Hit record. So now I'm ready to go for track number 2. Don't know why my little MP3 player didn't start when I pushed the button, but we'll do it again. I'm going to hit my pause button and hit play. There we go. And now I've started recording the next track. And you can see the spot coming on directly below the recording head. Now the head does not have to be perfectly aligned with the disc because the spot heats a very, very small area. The recording head is actually quite a bit bigger than the actual area that it records, so the alignment is not critical of the head. As long as the area of the gap covers the spot. So it can be off by a millimeter or two and it's not going to really affect the recording. If it was off by way off, then yeah, because it would be recording on a cold part of the disc. It has to record where the heat is from the laser that's heating it up, which you can see is pulsing on and off. Once the disc is recorded, I eject the disc, it'll go back to the beginning, it'll rewrite the table of contents. And this is how the disc got erased. That other recorder that I was trying to record on, obviously it's not making a recording, which we found when I tried to play it back and it went to the area where the music was. I could see the counter was trying to count, but there was nothing there because no information was recorded by the recording head. It then tried to write the table of contents, and when it writes the table of contents, how it works is it reads the table of contents and then it goes back and it turns on the writing laser to erase it and rewrite the table of contents. So once it tried to rewrite the table of contents, it wasn't recording. I lost the table of contents, therefore the entire disc, even though the disc still was full of data, it still had all my music on there. It just couldn't be played. As far as this piece of junk is concerned, let's just see why it's not recording. I'm guessing that the recording head is damaged or is broken or missing. Quite often what happens is people drop these things and the impact broke the head. So let's just pop the top open here and just see if I can spot the recording head, see if it's even in there. So I can't open this up much because there are ribbon cables in here, but we should be able to see whether the head is even present. A light in here. Oh yes, I can see it right now. The head is broken. I don't know if I can get a shot of this or not, but I can see it right down in here. You guys might be able to see it right down there. See if I can point it out to you. That you can see the head is snapped. See the head? Or what was the head? The ribbon cable is snapped right off the top of it. They're the recording heads here. That's the magneto optical head recording. And there's the ribbon cable to it. It's been snapped right off the top. So what's happened is this unit is suffered a fall. And that recording head would have to be replaced in order for this thing to record again. And I say good luck. You can see the wire sticking out of it here, see? See the wire sticking out? So that recording head is shot. It's gone. So this is not going to record again. This unit is a playback only machine. I'll let the guy know. He's probably watched the video by now. But I'll let the guy know that owns this one that, yeah, it's playing, but he's not going to be able to make any recordings. I mean, it's still useful for someone who has a mini disc recorder if they wanted a portable just for carrying around to listen to music on, but it's not going to record anymore, that's for sure. And I wish I had checked that before trying to make a recording on my disc, because I just created myself an extra hour of headaches. I can now hit the record button though, and as I record this off my MP3 player, I just hit the record button every time I start a new track. And it advances, so now I'm on track number 5, you see. I think it'll actually do this automatically if I'm not mistaken. It'll just automatically number them because there's a space between each track. Anyway, that does it for this one. So you got to see 2 fixed in one, but this one was just a belt. Hope you guys enjoyed the explanation and the demo on how this thing actually records, because it's a mystery to many people how Minidisc actually recorded. People think it was recorded with a laser, and it actually wasn't recorded with a laser. It was recorded with a magnetic head, no different than tape or a hard drive would operate. The only thing the laser is used for in the recording process was heating the internal layer of the disc to the point where the data that was recorded on that track was erased. And how the track is laid out is, well, it's a continuous track, but it's sectored. So it records one track at a time, basically, is what it does. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. It's too bad this one here is foobar, and it's too bad I didn't look in there to see whether the head had been damaged before putting in my disc, but these things happen, as they say. That's why I used a disc that I didn't care about the contents. I would be quite pissed if I had put in one of my recordings that it was my only copy that I had on Minidisc and it got wiped. That would have been not good. Anyway, Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.